I welcome you to this prophetic channel, Messiah Revelation Ministry. We deal with end time events. Time is short. The time for the arrival of the Messiah is very short. And so we prepare you so that you will not be found wanting. You will know the time that we are in. Today's message is focused on Donald J. Trump, former president of the United States. He has been indicted. United States versus Donald J. Trump. A historic event. It has never happened before for a former president or a president of the United States to be indicted. And we are giving a prophetic commentary on this indictment. And we are saying that it is not an indictment of Donald J. Trump, but it is an indictment of the United States. And before we begin our analysis, I would like you to refer to a video that I did. It's a long time. And in that video, I said there's a looming legal battle. It was based upon a vision that I had in 2020. And so let me tell you the vision that I had in 2020. The vision was about Donald J. Trump. In that vision, I saw that court documents were being served on Donald J. Trump. And I was asked to record the legal process, to record the proceedings. And I was given a paper, and the paper had a color like red like blood red. And I was to record the court proceedings where court documents, summons, writ of summons had been issued on Donald Trump. And I saw Hillary Clinton, and he was a major part of this process in the vision. And I also saw another person, a man, and the man asked me a question. Is it a civil process or a criminal process? He asked me that question. And he also asked me a question, who is the defendant in this case? And I told him the defendant in this case is United States. The man didn't like my answer. He didn't like what I said. I said the defendant in that case was United States. In the vision, I saw that Donald Trump was outside. He was actually in a weakened position. And Hillary Clinton was in a position of power. And so I woke up from the vision, and I already did a video about it. And the vision came to me on 20th August 2020. I already made a video about it, and I am giving a prophetic commentary on the indictment of Donald J. Trump, former president of the United States, number 45, who has been federally indicted by the Department of Justice. It happened June 9th, 2023. And so let's go over the vision again. Clinton serving papers on Donald J. Trump in the vision. What does it mean? I believe that Hillary Clinton, former presidential candidate for the Democratic Party, when I saw her in the vision, I believe that she symbolizes the power structure of the United States. Definitely, you see the U.S. Is divided between Republicans and Democrats. So that's my interpretation. Hillary gave me something to record the process on. The request that I record the process prophetically means that the process is very important and it should be recorded. And definitely a process where a former president of the United States has been indicted is unprecedented, historic. And so it means prophetically that we have to watch the process and the proceedings that will follow from the indictment of Donald J. Trump. As you are aware, other indictments are on their way, one from Georgia and possibly one from Washington, D.C. And before the federal indictment of Donald J. Trump, Trump had been indicted in the state of New York. A man asked me in the vision whether the case is civil or criminal. I don't know why he asked me that question, but as you are aware, Trump has been served with process both civilly and also criminally. As you are aware, he was found guilty in a civil case about sexual harassment. That happened recently. And he now is also facing a criminal charge. And if somebody was going to tell you that a former president of the United States will face a criminal charge, probably you will not believe it. As a result of the vision that I had on August 20th, 2020, I watched all legal proceedings against Donald Trump. I saw Donald Trump being impeached, and even after he left office as a president, he was also impeached, and he famously became the first president of the United States to have been impeached twice. And so the question of whether the proceeding was civil or criminal is very, very important, as I said in the vision that I had. Impeachment of a president of the United States is a civil proceeding. But the indictment of a former president of the United States who has been charged with 31 counts, including charges relating to espionage and obstruction of justice, definitely is a criminal case. So in the vision, a man asked me whether it is a civil or criminal case. God speaks prophetically and symbolically. And so I believe that the Lord was letting me know that the cases, the legal cases against Donald Trump will be civil and also will be criminal in nature. When a man asks me who is the defendant in this case, I'm talking about the vision I had on August 20th, 2020. I told him the defendant of this case is the United States. He didn't like the answer because in the vision, the writ of summons was served on Donald J. Trump. And if a writ of summons is served on a party, that party is the defendant in the case. and I saw it. But in the vision, I didn't say the defendant was Donald J. Trump, but I said the defendant is the United States of America, and I believe that the US is under indictment. Indictment not from the court of the United States, but indictment from the court of the Most High, Elohim, who sits on the throne in heaven. When we talk about visions, we're talking about prophetic communication. And when the vision is true, it will come true. And when the vision is from the Lord, it will come true, because the prophet Isaiah said something in Isaiah 46 verse 10. And let's look at what the prophet Isaiah said. Isaiah 46 verse 10. He's talking about the Most High who sits on the throne in heaven, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. And so the Lord declares the end from the beginning. And so on August 20th, 2020, when I had a vision regarding document being served on Donald J. Trump, the Lord was declaring what was going to happen in the future. And lo and behold, we are in July 2023, and Donald J. Trump, former president of the United States, has been criminally indicted by the Department of Justice in the United States. And so my prophetic commentary is that the Lord speaks and it comes true. And the prophet Isaiah said in Isaiah 55 verse 11, that as rain or snow comes, it doesn't go back to heaven. So the word of the Lord that comes from the mouth of the Most High will not go back until it has accomplished the purpose for which the word was sent. And so if you are actually talking about the word of the Lord, it means you are talking about the truth, and the word of the Lord shall always come to pass. And so the legal process that I saw in a vision on August 20th, 2020 has come to pass in July 2023, barely 3 years apart. And so the other day, the prophet Habakkuk was saying that the vision will come true even if it tallies. The word of the Lord will come true even if it tallies. Even if it takes 1,000 years, it will come true. There's what I would call Ezekiel timidity. Sometimes when a prophet of the Lord is asked to prophesy, that prophet is intimidated, because what he's told to say is something that has never happened before. The prophet Noah was asked to tell the world that the Lord was going to destroy the world with flood. And Noah was agitating, oh, this has never happened before. The prophet Isaiah was told to prophesy that a virgin will conceive. And the prophet Isaiah had never seen that before, but he said it. And you are aware, when the Lord asked the prophet Ezekiel to prophesy that the dead bones will rise again, the prophet Ezekiel had a prophetic timidity. He said, oh Lord, you are the only person who knows whether the dead bones will rise again or not. And so when I saw in a vision that Donald J. Trump had been served with legal document, I was surprised. But based upon what the Lord has said in Isaiah 55:11, any word that comes from the mouth of the Lord will come to pass. It will fulfill the purpose for which it was sent. In the vision, I saw Hillary Clinton, who served the papers on Donald J. Trump. It's a political matter, but as we are aware, there are also spiritual matters. When you look at the United States, what you see as political has spiritual behind the scenes implications. And we are talking about presidential elections. Politically, we're talking about presidential elections. Spiritually, we talk about presidential selection. And when I'm talking about presidential selection regarding Donald J. Trump, regarding the presidency in the United States, I want to remind you that I also had a vision when Donald J. Trump was the president of the United States. The vision came also in the year 2020. In that particular vision, I saw Donald J. Trump, who was surrounded by his advisors, and he was going to make an announcement. The announcement was that he was going to hand over power to a four-star general. And in that vision, Donald Trump was not very happy to hand over power to a four-star general. I've already done a video where I posted the video. The title was Trump to hand over power to a four-star general. So that video has already been posted. It was posted in 2020. But I'm bringing that vision to light because when you see a president, a sitting president of the United States, making an announcement that he was going to hand over power to a four-star general, that is very prophetic. Okay, what happened in 2020? Donald J. Trump was reluctant to leave power because he said that the 2020 elections were stolen. So in the vision, Trump was not very happy to relinquish power to a four-star general. In the same way, physically, in 2020, Donald J. Trump was not prepared to accept defeat in the 2020 presidential election. In the vision that I had on August 20th, 2020, regarding Hillary Clinton serving legal documents on Donald J. Trump, as I told you, I was asked to record the legal process. What does it mean? It means that the legal process is going to be very, very important. And so we have to watch the legal process and the legal proceedings and the implications and the consequences of the trial and the ultimate decision that we made regarding the indictment of Donald J. Trump, United States versus Donald J. Trump. And as we see this indictment, we also have to look at the prophetic consequences. The indictment definitely will result in a trial, and the trial will cover the following year, 2020. As you are aware, the indictment of Donald J. Trump in the state of New York will result in a trial in 2020. So what is the prophetic implication of the year 2020? As you are aware, the year 2020 is a presidential election year in the United States. And as you are aware, Donald J. Trump has already declared his intention to contest the 2024 US presidential elections. And so the 2024 political campaigns in the United States will happen at the time when Donald J. Trump is under a cloud. It's a legal cloud. He will be under a trial. He will be going through legal proceedings. And what will be the outcome of those legal proceedings? Will he be able to survive? Will he be convicted? And if he is convicted, what will be the political, legal implications, and even prophetic implications? Is he going to engage in any legal maneuvers to prolong the trial of the case? Definitely will the case go to the Supreme Court of the United States? And if it does, those cases, if they do, what will be the outcome of the appeal process? Will Trump be able to survive these proceedings? Will Trump be able to resurrect? I'm asking the question because there are people who believe that Donald J. Trump is the Antichrist. And if he's the Antichrist, it means that he will be able to do so many things. The Antichrist is a man of miracles, and so many miracles can be done. And as the Antichrist was wounded and rose from his dead wound, so Donald Trump may be able to rise from his deadly wound. And so we have to look at 2024 prophetically. And another thing that we have to remember is that 2024 will be a year when there will be the second solar eclipse. The first American solar eclipse came in 2017, and 7 years later, in 2024, there will be another solar eclipse that will mark a cross X. It will draw a sign of an X over the United States. What does it mean? It means that the United States is going to pass through a lot of prophetic events, political events that will have consequences that we have to wait to see. And so the indictment of Donald Trump is not just a political indictment, it's also a spiritual indictment. And I believe that United States is under indictment. United States is tested politically and spiritually. We are talking at the time when the United States has done so many things, mocking God with flags, with lifestyle policies, and with so many adulterous practices. And the Lord is waiting. And the Lord who is in heaven is in control of all events. And so the world's strongest democracy is being tested. And we have to wait to see how the supporters of Donald J. Trump will respond to this historic indictment. When we're talking about Trump, prophetically, based upon the vision that I've seen, he is not an ordinary person. When I say he's not an ordinary person, he is a a person who has a lot of spiritual weight, spiritual powers behind him. And you have to remember that when we are talking about American presidential politics, we have to remember what the Apostle Paul said in Galatians 6 verse 12. We do not wrestle with flesh and blood, but with principalities and powers and spiritual wickedness in high places. You have to remember that it was Donald J. Trump who signed a secret document titled The Real World Order in another vision that I had on July 20th, 2018. I've also done a video about it. And so when you see the chess game being played in the United States, if you are not very careful, you may think that it's Republicans against Democrats. But it may be a spiritual struggle between members of secret societies, and we don't know what has been planned in secret going into 2024 at a time that President Joe Biden has said America is going to lead the world in the formation of the new world order. We have to remember, as the Lord told us in Matthew 24 verse 4, let no man deceive you. And so, when you see an indictment of Donald Trump prophetically, it is also an indictment on the United States. The US is under judgment, and that judgment will not tally. Thank you for watching this video. I'm leaving the link to the video in the description box. I urge you to subscribe to the channel and spread the message, and be watchful of end time events, even events that happening in the United States, a nation that I consider to be the Babylon spoken of in the book of Revelation. Thank you.